Welcome to our Silicon Valley Business School course on entrepreneurship. In this course, you'll learn what it takes to build a successful startup Silicon Valley style. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm afraid that those get-rich-quick schemes don't work. If they did, everyone would take them and everyone would be rich. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to build a successful business. And building a successful business takes many different skills, many of which we will teach you in this course. Now, this course is broken down into several sections. In the introduction section, we look at what does it mean to be an entrepreneur and what does it take to be an entrepreneur. We then have a section called Entrepreneurial Challenges and Potential Rewards. Some entrepreneurs make it rich, others lose their shirts. What are the risks versus the rewards, and how do you make those calculations? We investigate some of those things in this section. There's a section following that called Silicon Valley Entrepreneurship. Now, all our courses are really dealing with Silicon Valley style of doing business, which, as you will find out, is pretty peculiar. It's been adopted in many different high-tech hubs all over the world, but it's not really the traditional style of doing business. For example, the preferred stock versus common stock distinction changes some of the dynamics of the way Silicon Valley style startup businesses are structured and how they're managed. So that section, we do have a section though that really focuses on the special requirements of being an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, some of the special features. We then have a section called Alternative Routes and Destinations for Your Startup Journey. Now, if you think of the startup process as a journey, then one of the first things you need is a target destination. And in a business, a startup business, you may be targeting building a company. Well, actually, let's look at exits, financial exits for entrepreneurs. You're probably doing this because you're interested in making a profit on your startup. If that's the case, then you need to look at how you're going to cash out. Are you going to cash out by selling the company? Are you going to cash out by selling your shares to the public following an IPO? Or are you just going to run this as a profitable business and use it as a source of income? These are the things we look at in this as the target destinations, and there are different routes to each destination. If you're building a company that's going to go through an IPO and sell shares to the public, you're going to build a pretty large organization. It's going to take several rounds of financing, and it's going to require you building a sales and marketing operation and generating profits. That's a pretty substantial undertaking, and it takes quite a long time and a lot of money. And the money you raise effectively dilutes your shareholding in the company. So if you're going to head on that route, if you switch and then try to sell the company afterwards, there may not be as much in it for you as the entrepreneur, especially when we look at some of the things like liquidation preferences that you need to consider. So this section, Alternative Routes and Destinations, is quite important. It looks at the different types of outcome you can expect from your startup journey and how you can compare and contrast them and how you can choose a route that's suitable for your exit. All right. Then we have a section called Assembling a Winning Team. And in here, we look at the various components that make up a team in a startup venture. We look at the roles of the board of directors and the shareholders, typically venture capital investors. We look at the advisory panels, the hiring of employees, and distinction between employees and independent contractors. And we look at where the power lies in the organization, which you might be quite surprised to see how that works. Actually, there's another section, there's another course we have called Business Organizations that delves into these issues in much more detail. Okay, business planning. That's obviously important for a startup company. You need a business plan, and then you need to be able to direct your business in the right direction. So here we look at how business planning is done in Silicon Valley style companies. We look at the various business models that are adopted by high-tech companies in Silicon Valley and the tech sectors all over the world. And we look at some different approaches to business planning and navigation. Then we move on to a section called Routes to Market. In this section, we explore the different channels of distribution and the ways that you will find to reach the customer with your products. Most startups fail in this area. They actually succeed in building a product, assembling a team. Then when it gets to getting the product into the hands of the customer in a profitable way, they find that's too expensive. They don't have the channels available to them. And so this is a very, very important step if your startup's going to be successful. So we look at the various routes to market, some of the challenges and some of the ways around the obstacles that you will face. Now, it's no good having a target destination and having a roadmap with milestones directing you towards your destination. How do you know you're making progress along the route? We have a section here which is called Business Momentum, and it looks at momentum, how you actually step through the milestones, make progress as a startup company, how you build a positive buzz around your company, and how this invisible force of momentum can drive your company towards success. And it can actually make the difference between failure and success. So business momentum is a section that we cover. We then dig into a couple of management maneuvers that are designed to boost momentum and turn around startups that have failed or are failing. Startups that are generating no momentum or actually losing customers and making backward steps may have problems. They may not be consistent. Their business model may not be consistent with the market. Their offering may not be consistent with what people are looking for in the customer base. So here we have two management maneuvers that are commonly adopted in Silicon Valley in these extreme situations. One is called reinventing the company. Sometimes you may consider that to be a pivot. Some people call that a pivot, but we go through the steps of reinventing the company, and we go through the steps of restarting the company. Sometimes you need to stop, reboot, restart altogether. These things are done quite often in startups before they actually find the right model, get the right fit with the customer needs and the product offering. Sometimes you need to reinvent the company or restart the company. So we cover those management maneuvers. All right, then the final section is one where we discuss further study. We're providing you here with a lot of skills. You'll find this is a very extensive course. In fact, there's a book that is provided with the course, and I suggest you read the whole book, Zero to IPO. There are readings assigned to you from that book in various sections of the course, but there's lots of videos, there's lots of materials here in this course on entrepreneurship. But we can't give you all the skills you need in this course or any entrepreneurship course to build a complete successful business. You're going to need to have skills in finance and accounting, raising finance. You're going to need to be able to form your own contracts. You're going to need to understand the ins and outs of mergers, acquisitions, IPOs. You're going to need to understand how to do digital marketing and other forms of marketing, social media marketing and all those types of things. You're going to have a sales and business development skills in the corporation, in the company. You're going to probably need to understand how to set up your CRM, customer relationship management systems. There's a lot of things that you will need to do that we just cannot cover in this course. So they're very extensive, and we'll give you the basics. Now, if this were basketball, we would be teaching you the basic skills and the rules of the game so that you wouldn't look a fool if you went out onto a basketball court, and you have a chance of success. Now, we can't guarantee that you will become the next Michael Jordan. Those things come along very seldom, those types of successes, and it takes timing, it takes a lot of skills, it takes a lot of talent, and we can give you the basic skills that you need, and hopefully you can become a successful entrepreneur, but we can't guarantee that you will have the next Facebook, Apple, computer, Microsoft, or a next billion-dollar company. I hope you do. I really hope you do. We have had some successes with people coming through these courses. So I hope you are super successful in your entrepreneurial career or advising entrepreneurs or whatever it is you're looking to do with this course. I hope you find the course useful, and please let us know if you have any feedback or questions. There's a feedback link on the bottom of each web page, and we encourage you to provide feedback in the course, and best of luck.